Pardon me, I'm eating some trail mix. So, the internet. You got kids rattling shit off as if it were fact. But the fact is, we do not know the origin behind this jazz, and yet...
So the Sphinx in Egypt was built around 48,500 BC by the Syrian Anunnaki. At the time, there were two different divisions of Anunnaki. The Syrian Anunnaki, as well as the Anunnaki Resistance. The Anunnaki Resistance were the ones who were...
So now you got two divisions of fucking Anunnaki, which means, say your buddy believes more in the Syrian version versus the other one. Then you guys can squabble. You know, Hegelian dialectic, conquer and divide, blue versus red, use your fucking brain. It's very obvious what people are up to. You know, the people who are pulling our strings. But most people are really fucking stupid, which is also why there's cross-dressing propaganda out there.
So the Sphinx of Earth, and who were trying and intending to conquer Egypt and conquer the Ark of the Covenant and conquer Earth. So the Syrian Anunnaki built the Great Pyramids as well as the Sphinx. The Great Pyramids were built on top of an inner portal, Stargate 4, where the Ark of the Covenant was stationed at the time. And the Sphinx was built next to it, covering an inner earth portal passage, which was connected directly to the Ark of the Covenant, with the head of an Anunnaki warrior and the body of a lion-like leonine cosmic ancestors of the Anunnaki, to show we will not be intimidated. So the Sphinx in Egypt was built around 48...
This garbage is New Age woo-woo is fucking bottom of the barrel retards referred to it now, and I didn't realize they did that until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I thought they were joking. Because the only woo I thought of was Wu-Tang. But apparently people are dumber than ever. This shit's in place to pave the way for a one-world religion. Our masters are corrupting things across the board. And most people don't realize it. I do mean across the fucking board. This relates to history, not what he's talking about, but the corruption of what once reflected history. It flies in the face of common logic, or logic in general. But most people don't have an imagination cap to adjust anymore, as I often complain about. Let's see, I bet you this guy has thousands of fucking people following him. This is the first time I've ever seen him online, and lo and behold, it's because he is shopping around our masters. Oh, look, he's a doctor, too. He's shopping around our masters' adult fairy tales. Fucking dog shit. Absolute dog shit. And he mentioned a Stargate with a number associated with it, too. It's part of a larger diagram, a larger paradigm, an outline. It's quite literally an adult fairy tale. And it's very complex. None of it reflects reality, but people are talking about it because somebody gave them an infographic to circulate online. And that's where that crap's derived from. And I do mean crap, emphasis on a pile of shit. The other thing accounts like this are going to do is they're probably not going to say a bad word about other people. They're probably not going to challenge anybody. They're also not going to teach you any grassroots approaches that actually reflect reality. They're never going to show you any of the things I could possibly show you. Secrets, things you're not supposed to know. But the big point is they're not going to use a sharp tongue to try to teach you things. Because they don't know anything. They're winning you over with jokes and a smile because they're selling you 8 pounds of horse shit in a 2-pound bag. And most people are dumb enough to repeat it. It's proof positive if you look at how many people are following it. That's a lot of fucking retards. All of which are working for our masters. They are working against you and I. They are the fucking problem. And most of you will assume otherwise. And or you'll try to defend some of this because bits and pieces in here may reflect reality. They may touch on it. But as a whole, you can't trust this guy. We do not know when the Sphinx was fucking created. There's another outline years back, and now I can't think of... Oh, Graham Hancock, he's one of the assholes who's a controlled opposition asset. And there's another guy who worked with Graham at the time, and they were falsifying information and claiming that the water damage, supposed water damage on the Sphinx, changes the dating of the Sphinx. And then they created an entire outline based on this. Then they ran with it as if it was fact. This is part of how our masters used to conduct themselves. Now they can establish an account. This isn't necessarily a CIA asset, but they do have some of those out there working against us as well. But people like this, or other just decent people who aren't speaking out because they don't understand a fucking thing to begin with, because they don't look into things, they buy into them. They'll repeat quite literally anything. They'll buy into this and then functionally work for our masters, which is why I constantly whine about, what did they teach you in the 1999 film The Matrix? Anybody could be a fucking agent. Because most people are below average, and they love talking about sensational shit because it's fun to tell your friends these stories. It's not as fun to step on their toes and tell them, well, technically, we don't know the origin of the Sphinx. It's not as exciting, is it?